Yo, what's up? What's up? Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you guys are having an awesome Thursday. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. I got a couple different projects we can look at today. And then also we're going to pull up some CoinGecko and a little bit of news and kind of go over a couple things. So let's go ahead and share the screen. The usual, y'all know the drill. Let's do this. All right, share. Got our Matic. Sick. Let's make it little. All right. This over here. This over here. That. Dope. All right, guys. So a couple different things. Let's go to the main page here. Check it out. And then also I want to check out. So as you guys can see, we have the market cap. This has dropped, guys. It was over 2 trillion, I believe. We have 970 billion. So we dropped literally over a trillion in market cap. I want you guys to be aware of that. The difference is insane. So if we go like this, so how long is a billion seconds? So a million seconds is 12 days. A billion seconds is 31 years. And a trillion seconds is 31,688 years. So you can see the difference between a billion and a trillion, how big it actually is when we compare it into seconds. So to understand how the market cap has dropped, and you can see it's actually up 5% today, but to understand that it's dropped that much is actually insane. So you want to keep that in mind. Right now, the market cap is extremely small compared to a lot of other things, but that's not what I want to cover today. That's just one thing I want to mention. To keep in mind while we're looking at everything else here, you can see Matic is actually one coin that I want to go over, something we were looking at. This is actually a coin I've had for a really long time, actually because I was originally buying NFTs. This was almost a year and a half ago now, actually. This is crazy. I was buying NFTs with Polygon on what is it? OpenSea. So it's crazy. I was actually using a wrapped Ethereum, so I need to buy Polygon, and then you have to swap it and all that. But that's awesome. 50% up. I don't even know how much I have. I have quite a bit of it actually, but it's sitting away. It's locked up, chilling. I never had plans on getting rid of it for a while, but we'll see what happens with it. We can see a couple of things. We got Uniswap, which is on there. We got Stepin, Solana. Guys, some of the prices on these coins is honestly insane. One of the coins, couple of my favorite ones actually, is the Metaverse Index, and where's it at? The DeFi Pulse Index. So you guys can see in the past 7 days, it's up 33%. Metaverse Index, we're up 18.9. Now this might not be permanent because we want to keep in mind what's going on with Bitcoin, and maybe I should cover this first before we kind of go into a couple of other things. But I want to cover this because I haven't really gone into like a full in-depth kind of breakdown of what's going on inside of Bitcoin. So let's honestly get rid of this noise. Honestly, I like to keep this stuff to look back on, but I mean, I really don't need it. It was just more or less to use for reference, but we'll get rid of it, and we can always mark it back up some other time. So we can get rid of, you know what, honestly, we're doing it. Oh, that hurt me. Oh gosh. All right, so we're on a weekly time frame, and actually we'll even start on the monthly. But what we like to do is we like to mark levels, and we also like to put our fibs on there. So what we do is we put the fibs in the direction that we think the market's moving. So for example, I'm going to use this up to here, and you can see what we're going to mark initially right away is our last level of support. So number 1 is right here, which you can see it's perfectly hitting by surprise. Not at all. This is honestly, I could have seen it coming, but we'll go into that in a little bit. So this is the last level of support, number 1. Oops, not exclamation point. And then we have, let's do another one. We got number 2. So pretty much what this is where majority of the liquidity is sitting inside of the markets. This is where a lot of the buyers originally bought in, the big buyers, the whales. Now it doesn't mean they necessarily held at that time, but majority of Bitcoin was bought during this time, and we can see the spike in it, right? So let's go here, boom. So we have last level support number 1, last level support number 2. Now, in order to knock out these buyers who sit in these levels, right, on here, we have to break through here. But you can see we're getting some resistance. So on a monthly time frame, I mean, I'm not too surprised to see what's happening. usually what I like to compare fibs to, this is what this tool is, Fibonacci fibs is for short. But what I like to compare this tool to is like hot sauce. You know, you go into a store, you buy hot sauce, and when you're looking for it, normally you see like, you know, mild, extremely hot, you know, cry when you poop type thing, like whatever it is. There's multiple different names, but what you usually don't see is a normal. Now with this tool, that normal zone, when you guys hear normal, what do you expect? Like, what do you hear? Like, what do you think of? For me, when I hear normal, I think like majority of the time. Like if that normally happens, it happens most of the time. So what happens most of the time is on this move. So what we're doing is we're measuring from here, this bottom, to this high. Now what happens is the market will retrace usually to this level and continue up. Now you can see we had some resistance, right? Broke through, and now it broke through our normal zone, and we're at the last level of support. Now this last level of support is where majority of the buyer sits. So you can see boom, 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 boom. Bitcoin takes off, literally straight bullish for what, a year? But maybe not, like 6 months. But you guys can see we're down here and we actually perfectly touched this level. And even here, so look, we came down and hit this. And actually, if we were measuring it from here, you can see it's actually perfectly in the 50% 618 zone, just slightly different, right, from here to here. But we're not measuring that move anymore. We're actually measuring this one. So you can see this is our normal zone, our last level supports. And then now from here, what I like to do is I like to zoom in and get a little bit more out of the picture. So what we'll do is we'll add a couple of supports and resistance areas. So what we'll do is we'll do this, and I'm going to change the color to this to black. And I like to do this. We're going to put monthly. Actually, I don't like that in all caps, so we're going to kind of like it all lowercase, actually. So there's our monthly. We're going to do a couple of them. Really, all I'm doing is marking zones based off the candles. So what we're going to do is we're going to mark them here too. So we'll put another monthly level. And these are exact levels. Usually I like to use zones, but these are levels that are kind of important is what I'll say for right now. But really what we're doing is we're recognizing patterns that happen inside the market over and over and over again. And how I'm doing this is by using these patterns. So we're going to do one here. And actually what I'm going to do is we're going to go like this. So here to here. Is an accumulation zone. So the reason why is because we have a floor and a ceiling, right? Now, if I put another line there, it's going to be right on top. I just didn't do that. I just used the zone instead. But we can do that if you'd like. We can go like this and check it out. So monthly. Cool. So now what we have here, guys, is we have it marked out on a larger time frame. Now, if we were trading long term, this would be really nice, but we like to do a little bit shorter time frame trades. So we're going to zoom in and get a little bit more detail. So as you can see, we zoomed in, we get a little bit more out of the picture. Instead of each of these little candles being 1 month, now they're 1 week. So this is 1 week. This whole candle right here represents 1 week at time. Same with this one. Same with this one. The farther we go down, the farther we break down these candles. So we get a little bit more detailed look. How I like to put it is like, imagine we're playing Where's Waldo, and then, you know, you zoom out and you see like everybody in the picture, and then you zoom in and you can see each individual person. So it just gives you a little bit more detailed look. Maybe even like when you're reading a book, right? You're reading it from afar, you zoom in, you can see the words better. But we're just zooming in, getting better look. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to mark weekly levels now instead. So right here, actually, where are we going to put it? We're going to put it right there. We're going to do weekly right there. Hopefully that's spelled right. I'm not even sure if that's how you spell weekly, but that's okay. We're going to move on. Let's go. So we got weekly, and actually for right now, that's all I'm going to put because all this is kind of irrelevant up here at the moment for us. What I'm really focused on is some levels that we're going to see over here. And actually, I mean, you can kind of see. I think I might actually pull one right here. So we'll pull one right here just because, and you might even be able to see it better on the daily, but we'll probably move it, maybe even change it once we get there. So really all we're doing is just adding levels of support here, right? We added our fibs, we put our last level of supports on there, and we also added our normal zone, and you can see we have the accumulation zone, which was where which was where we had the open and close on the week or the monthly. So you could see we had the ceiling or the ceiling over here, floor over here. They're right next to each other. So I like to make it a zone. All right, so now we're on the weekly. Let's go down to the daily. See, as we keep going down, we keep getting a little bit more detailed view. And now we can go like this. So what I'm going to do, same thing. We can even still zoom out. See, that actually might work right there. I might just turn that to a zone. So now we can do this. We can do daily. We'll do, there's another one over here. We'll do roughly right there. We'll check over here at the left. Let's see what we got. Huh, that looks good. See the wick down, it came to touch that line almost perfectly, but let's see what we got over here. Do I want to use the bottom of that wick? Maybe we do. Let's see. And honestly, guys, really what I'm doing right now is I'm kind of seeing where these where it's playing off of. That's kind of gonna depend on where I put this level. So I'm not gonna put it there. Actually, I'm gonna keep it right there. That'll be good. All right. So one thing you guys will learn over time is doesn't have to be perfect. And one thing I've learned too while trading is in something that really used to bother me was I thought there was like one strategy to win. Like I thought everybody just had this one winning strategy. Like the banks knew this crazy secret, which they know some, but I thought they just had like one crazy secret and they all shared it. That's how everybody was winning on their side. But that's not true. Really, what's true is there's multiple different ways to win. You just need to back test, practice, use a demo account, pretty much a fake like monopoly money in the live market. So you can trade this live, you can be marking up the live chart and trade on a demo account. And honestly, what I teach my team is I tell them, hey, until you're winning on a demo account, like why would you trade real money? Like if you're just constantly losing demo money, what do you think you're gonna do with real money? You think you're just gonna randomly make money? Doesn't work like that. If it did, we'd all be rich. But yeah, so what I like to recommend is you open a demo account. Pretty much what you can do is you can look up a broker, Google brokers. There's a couple. I'm not affiliated with any, and I'm not going to mention any just for the reason of I don't want anybody to try to hold me accountable for that. But again, and also something I want to mention too is none of this is financial advice by any means. This is based off my experience the past 6 years, trading inside of multiple different markets. So I want to keep you guys aware. I'm not a financial advisor by any means. It's basically all based off my experience the past 6 years, my opinions. I challenge you to do your own research and honestly, what I show you, test it out, try for yourself, see if it works for you. But what I like to do is I like to use the analogy of, if we all go out to dinner, right? There's 5 of us at dinner. Excuse me. Say there's 5 of us at dinner. We're all most likely going to get a different meal. And even if we get the same meal, maybe you don't get tomatoes on your burger. Maybe you don't like mayo. Maybe you don't like ketchup. Maybe you don't like bacon. There's multiple. It's not going to be exact. So same thing with trading. No 2 people are going to trade the exact same way. They're going to have multiple different things. You can see down here we have the RSI. It's relative strength index. Pretty much what we look for here is divergence, and maybe we'll explain that on a different time. But I want to keep breaking this down and kind of give you guys how I'm getting these levels inside of the market. So now that we have this broken down, we're going to go down to the 4-hour, and we're going to keep getting more detailed. You can see it's starting to look a little crazy, right? We got all these lines everywhere, but it's okay because yep, we're going to keep that there. Maybe we'll put something right here. Oop, thought I had this selected. We'll put a 4-hour right here. And from here, I don't like to put too much because now from here, you can kind of use all your levels are almost going to become the same. So like I could put this as a 4-hour level too. I might actually move it up a little bit. So what I would do is, boom, see, I'm going to actually keep it as a daily. We could put even, we could even like this. But it doesn't matter. This is what I mean. Like some people think it has to be so exact and so perfect. Really, what we're doing is recognizing patterns, guys. You don't have to be the smartest person when it comes to trading. You have to know. You have to obviously be educated. You have to understand some things, but you don't have to be the smartest person. There's a lot of things I don't know, and that's okay. If you have, as long as you're willing to admit it and willing to learn, and you don't have a big ego, right? Then you're able to learn. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna draw a little another area accumulation from this, right? We got a floor right here, and there's a ceiling right there. And actually, we're gonna move it just slightly. But that's just one thing, guys, I want to share with you because I always thought it had to be perfect. Like, you're drawing trend lines and things like that. Like, no, it doesn't have to be perfect, guys. And also, let's see. So on a big time frame, we can see where we're at, right? Monthly, we look, oops. On a monthly, we look and we can see, hey, we're at the last level of support, Tyler. We actually touched it. We're almost actually there. You go down to an hour time frame. We're actually playing right off that level, right? We touched it, boom, went up. So we're playing around the zone, and now we're kind of inside of here. So now here's this area of accumulation, right? Some people sold here. That's some margin trading. If you guys weren't capturing any of these trades on the way down, sheesh, definitely should have capitalized on some of that. This is honestly too like where we can go down like on a 4 hour, and this might not even be something I really fully showed. Is where we can capture it. There we go. So where are we at? So here we are right here. So we had originally, right, Bitcoin coming through here, and there's some things too. So we zoom in, we can really break it down on a smaller time frame, guys. We can put, watch, 4 hour, right? Do 4 hour right there. Actually, if you move it around, it doesn't have to be exact, but you want to find something that works for you. So really, what you see here is we can even make this an accumulation zone from our normal zone, the 50% 618 on the fib zone, right? This is a part of the line. If you guys don't believe me, I'll zoom out. I'm talking right here. So zoom back in. So what happens is when we're looking for entries on a leverage trade, margin trading, whatever you want to call it, I know people call it different things. Some people like that super smart and use high tech words. I don't. I like to break it down so everybody can understand. Do I know? I'm sure, but I don't like to, try to undermine people by using these fancy words. If you want to know them, I'll be more than happy to teach them to you. But really, guys, what happens is we have a break, right? So it broke through the 50% 618. You can see it did over here as well, but it was kind of like a fake out, right? Came back up, we broke above, kind of played along here for a little while. Really never broke back below this until over here, right at this level. So when I noticed that, right? So if I'm watching this live and that's all you can see, we see a break. And when I look for an entry, I look for a break and a retest. So let me get that out the way. What I mean when I say a break and a retest is something like this. So like, let me just move this. Let me move this line just to show you. So let's say this is our level right here, right? We're gonna get rid of. We're gonna hide. Actually, we're just gonna get rid of that for right now. So let's say this is our level right here. We can even use it. I mean, it doesn't. Again, trading isn't exactly perfect. You just have to recognize these patterns and dial in your skills. As you can see, if we got an entry on here and it was here compared to there, there's not too much of a difference. Leverage trading, it's going to be a little bit more important. When you're exchange trading, it's not going to be so much, but you still want to get the best entry you can. So let's say this is our level, right? And it's not a bad level. Look, we broke through, we stayed above, then broke through again, boom. But what I looked for on to enter any margin trade or to leverage trade is a breakthrough and a retest. So what I mean by that is something like this, right? So it comes down, right? Breaks through, comes back up, retests that level, which was once a floor, right? So it's a floor over here, floor, 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 floor. Broke through the floor, right? So broke through the floor, came up, retested it, and that's actually exactly where you want to enter. Is the break and the retest. That's what I personally look for on my entries. Oops, it's really small. But that right there, broke through, retested, and you would want to enter, right? And then boom, write it down. So a break and an enter of a level, and usually they're major levels. This one is actually almost the 50% 618. Now, if we move our fibs, that actually probably could be the exact level, depending on if where we exactly put our fibs. And that's what I mean. We can dial in our skills. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Now, maybe if I go back and look, we were slightly off. We move it, and this is actually the 50% what is it, 618 retracement, and this is the 618. but it's again, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to understand how to recognize these patterns over and over again. I know I'm really going down into the leverage trading side of things and marking up these charts, but it's really important to understand which way the market's moving. And if you understand this, and if you're able to do this, you can really not predict, but you can really read the market and you know make your investment choices from there. Trying to figure out how to word that without telling you what to do. But um, again, we have the same thing right here, right? So floor, right? There's a floor, came through, boom. We have a ceiling over here. Now it's came up. Now, really, what I'm looking for is for it to break above somewhere in here. And if we can draw an exact level, right? This one just has an exact level, but it could be a zone too. And we have this big zone, right? We were looking for the zone. It came down and tested the 618. Same with this last level of support. It could have came down and touched this one. It still can, but it has to break through the first level of support first. And that's important to understand. We don't even need to look past there until, well, it's nice to know, right? It's nice to understand, but until it breaks past here and opens below, I'm not concerned about it coming down here at the moment. I'm concerned with what's happening here. Because if I'm worried about it coming down here, I'm predicting. We need to read what's actually happening, right? What's actually happening is it came down, tested the last level of support on our monthly fib level, which is a major level. It's something you want to pay attention to. Came down, touched it perfectly. I didn't make it do that. I just drew it off of the initial movement. We came over here and it showed it, right? You guys just watched me do it. Touches it perfectly. And then guess what? Now it breaks above the weekly level. Boom. Breaks above our 4-hour level. Boom. Breaks above, retest, goes. Boom. Now we're kind of doing the same thing that we were doing up here. We're just consolidated. We're kind of playing inside of this zone from even from this daily to this 4-hour. It's been playing inside of here for the past, what, 2 days, 3 days. So now really what we want to see is a break of a level. So in order for me to look for an entry leverage or margin trading, I want for it to break above here, retest here, and then enter. And then same thing, I want it to break above. Realistically, I don't want to enter anything until it breaks above this daily 4-hour level. But this is another level to pay attention to. If you want to make a smaller trade, I mean, this is, like a shorter term trade, that's something you could do. You come down on the 1-hour and you can even do it here. And honestly, guys, these fibs are everywhere. Look, I'm literally looking at it right now. I guarantee. Boom. Let's see. There. Guess what? 50% 618, 50% 618. Literally almost made me a liar, right? Didn't fully come down and touch it, but it came almost exact to touch it. Now we have these on a smaller time frame, last level support. We can even mark it up, right? Boom. Put it in red. Oops. Maybe you want to put it here, right? So now if it breaks below there, oh shit. Then we have this major one, right? But this is something you want to keep in mind, even on a smaller time frame. So we're measuring this little move, and you can trade these, guys. I mean, some people do. I don't like to trade this small of a time frame, but I like to trade a little bit longer, maybe daily. 2 days, maybe max 3 days. A week is too much for me. Maybe in the future, but I personally like to catch the move, ride it. Once I'm in and it's risk free, I don't really care. I just keep moving my stop profit with it. So right here, guys, right? We measure this move, market comes, retraces 23.6%, comes down, retraces 38.2%, right? We stop at this 4-hour level, boom, 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 boom. And actually we based it off of here. So, but we came down to this 4-hour level, boom, 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 right? Resisted, and we actually almost came and hit the 50% to continue up. Now it didn't, but we came really, really close, and actually came a little bit closer than we thought, right? So what we got? 19,751. We'll call it 19,750. Literally $100 away. So this is something to keep in mind, guys. And I really want to break this down. I know I've done this before, but it's nice to have it. Repetition is really how we learn things, and teaching actually. The more I teach, the more I come on here, do this and show you guys pretty much how I trade, the better I get. So it's good for both of us, right? I get to share with you guys how I'm winning, and you guys get to, and I also get to win more. So it's a win-win. You guys get free value. I become a better trader. So let's see. There was a couple things I want to cover. Chain link, I think, was one of them. Let's see. We got link. Let's go like this. We need that. We're gonna do the same thing pretty much with this. So we're gonna get rid of it. All right, check it out. Same thing, guys. We're just doing it over and over again. This work gets really repetitive. It's like riding a bike. Once you recognize the patterns, see the patterns, you do it over and over again. You don't have to think about it. There we go. And let's see. So even right here, we could use this, right? Use that. We're gonna use that. I like that. So we're gonna come down here and actually let's mark some monthly levels really quick, right? We don't want to skip any steps. They're important. And what we'll actually do first, last level support. 2, we're just gonna put that. And we're gonna put this for the other one, just last level support. We got our normal zone. Sometimes I just like to mark it out just to show you guys repetition, right? We got our normal zone. You guys can see initially, right? This move, boom. This is what we're measuring from this bottom right here, from this where it says 100% to all the way to the top where it says 0, which you can see if I scroll past, you can kind of see there, right? But so we're measuring this move from this candle to this candle. Now it came down. Look, guys, 50%, 618, almost respected it perfectly. Now it wasn't exact. I mean, we can move it, we can manipulate it. We could have measured from here and been like, yo, Tyler, perfect, right? So there's different. It just depends on how you recognize patterns, guys. Like you could do it this way. It's up to you what candle you want to go to. I'm going to this one. It's how I do it. It's just repetition for me. It's how I recognize these patterns. So it's crazy. All right, let's go to weekly. Oh, let's drop. We need some major levels. Now let me do this. All right, let's see. Change that to black. Change the name. Monthly. Oh, sorry, monthly. My typing's got a lot better. A lot less errors. All right, we got an accumulation zone right here. Hopefully you guys saw that right off the bat. We got another monthly. As soon as I said that, right, I jinxed myself. A little accumulation zone. So from this ceiling to, yeah, I guess we'll put it there. So it's a floor here, right? Ceiling, floor, ceiling. We're gonna mark it like that. Maybe. No, we're not. All right, so we're gonna go like this. And that's all we're gonna do for monthly levels. Break down of the weekly. Guys, again, this is just something we're literally recognizing patterns here inside the market. So again, the reason I didn't do that, so you guys can see, we have, right, the monthly here, came over here, or the daily, my bad. Let's skip. So originally we were going to put that zone right here. We didn't. Now, the reason we didn't is because this one. So on a monthly, right, I didn't put it because you can see on a smaller time frame, ceiling, floor, and actually see you can even change this, right? You can put we can put a weekly here, weekly there. But what I like to do is, because this is a monthly level, what I would like to do is just slightly adjust it. So it's a major level still, but so I like to move it just a little bit. So now we can go back to the monthly, check it out. See, it doesn't look as exact, right? We're not exactly on the bottom there. We're not exactly on the tip over here. Even before we weren't, but this is where it gets where your experience pretty much is going to kind of take you to the next level. So we got the top here, bottom here, we got the monthly, and then we kind of created the zone. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to shrink the zone here. So now we have this accumulation zone, and actually move that just So lightly, there we go. Now we have it there. So we have the monthly, we got a weekly, and now this is a strong zone, guys. I mean, something like this. I'm gonna extend it. Weekly. So you guys can see the ceiling of the zone is a monthly level. The bottom is a weekly. So what happens is we broke through, right? You can see we broke through the level, retest, gone, retest, gone. And really that's what we look for in the leverage trading side of things. I'm sure if we broke it down over here, you can even see, right? I'll break it down for you too. I'll actually put a line there so I remember. But once we get down there, as I'm willing to bet on it, is we broke through this level, it retested, and then boop, continue down. So I'll mark it that way once we get there, I know. But for the meantime, we're just going to mark a couple more levels. Right, so look, we got the monthly here, which is also going to be a weekly level. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to adjust it for the weekly. That. I'm actually going to even. Right here too. So as you guys can see, I'm not really paying attention too much to the ones up here. As I mean, we could obviously mark it another one here, 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 you know, obviously up there, but I'm not really marking that stuff only because I'm trying to pay attention where the market's at for the time being. But let's go ahead and label this one. We got a weekly level. Let's break it down daily. All right. Boom. So even if we wanted to, guys, I mean, we could even put the reverse fibs on here. So honestly, I mean, really what I'm expecting is some type of move up, to be honest with you. The reason why is because if we're measuring, so let's see, where's this high at? So that candle's higher, so I'll use this one. All right, now go this low. So the reason I would be expecting for the market to come up is actually because if I'm margin trading, I always market in both directions. Now in exchange trading, you only make money if the market goes up, like a stock. When you're margin trading, it doesn't matter which way the market goes. You can sell it or buy it. You can make money on it if it goes down or if it goes up. So you don't care which way it goes, and it helps when you're exchange trading because if you're expecting it to come up, right, because of this retracement to our normal zone, if we were looking for it to go down on a right, it's a daily time frame. So we're measuring from this high. The reason I'm not doing that one is because this candle body is actually higher than this one. So the reason I'm using it is because that. So we use this high down to this bottom. So we started from here to here. Now, right, we're looking for the market to retrace to this normal level and continue down because we're in a downtrend. Now, is it going to happen? I can't guarantee that. But the reason I'm expecting it to move up is multiple different reasons now. And I like to show you guys this because we have the last level of support, right? Now on a big time frame, right? On the monthly time frame, we have this last level of support where the market is currently playing at. We have this weekly level right here, which it hasn't quite hit, but it's also playing, you know, it might actually be coming down. Let's see. Might come down there and even touch it. But guys, we're getting a lot of resistance right here. And honestly, we could potentially come down here and touch this weekly and continue up. Now, do I think it's going to happen? Maybe, maybe not. What I'm looking for now in order to tell you that is now look, we're above. So at the moment, what I would like to do is go to the weekly. So once a candle opens above here, so technically we're still below. So once this next weekly candle opens above here, then it would what I would want to see for it to continue down is another break below and a retest. And actually, let's go. I think I promised you guys I would show you this, right? So we had, here it is. Let's go down to a 4-hour. Where's it at? Where's it at? It's the unlabeled line. That one's labeled. Here it is. So, right, we came down here, respected. Guess what? It came up. What happened? Broke through and we retested, right? Not exactly that level. Now this is where you can see, look, came respected, played along, broke through. You could even use that as a breakthrough retest, right? The last level support would have been nice breakthrough retest, but sometimes you don't get it exact, and that's why we like to use zones instead of exact levels. That's why I prefer to draw zones. So like usually when I draw these lines, I refer to them as a level. When I draw something like this, I'm referring to it as a zone. Now you guys obviously know if we were marking from, if we were drawing accumulation zones, right? We would mark from right here from, we had a high or a high, my bad. We had a floor, and then right here, right, we have a ceiling. So initially, right, we had some respect, broke through, retest. That's the new level. Once it retests a level, that's the new floor, right? Or that's the new ceiling. So broke through this floor, retested. That's the new ceiling. Boom. Now, what would have happened if it came back up here? What I would have expected was for it to continue down, right? Unless it broke above. Unless it broke above here. Retested. I always wait for the retest, guys, every single time. If it doesn't do it, then I don't enter. Simple. Doesn't hit my levels, my zones, I'm not in. And that's something to be something that's really important, guys, is to have some type of trading plan, follow a set of rules that work for you, identify patterns that work for you, and that are proven to win. Make sure you have a winning result, right? You don't want to keep doing something if you're losing. But I know we kind of dove into a lot of leverage trading. Hopefully you guys got some value out of this. Hopefully that made some things a little more clear. I actually have another call here I got to hop on, but with that being said, if there's anything new you guys would like to see, go ahead and drop it in the comments. I'm going to upload this to the YouTube. So if you guys if you guys are watching this on YouTube, drop in the comments below if there's anything in the future you guys want to see. And I appreciate you guys. I'll see you soon.